Research identified 5 foods that may increase joint inflammation in people with arthritis, and chances are you're eating at least one daily. Before we dive in, an important note. This video is for educational purposes only and not medical advice. If you have arthritis, work closely with your healthcare provider to develop a comprehensive treatment plan. Diet can support your joint health, but it doesn't replace medical care. I'm going to walk you through 5 common foods that scientific studies have linked to increased inflammation in arthritis patients. Understanding these connections can help you have more informed conversations with your doctor about your diet. Let's start with why food matters at all when we're talking about arthritis. Your immune system responds to what you eat. Certain foods trigger inflammatory pathways in your body, the same pathways that are already overactive if you have arthritis. When inflammation increases, so does pain, swelling, and joint stiffness. A 2020 analysis published in Frontiers in Nutrition examined dietary patterns in over 1,200 arthritis patients. Participants who consumed higher amounts of inflammatory foods reported more frequent flare-ups and greater pain intensity. Compared to those following anti-inflammatory eating patterns, does this sound familiar? If you've noticed your arthritis pain fluctuates and you're not sure why, comment flare below, so I know you're following along. Diet could be one of the missing pieces. Food number 1. Processed sugar and sweetened products. When you consume high amounts of sugar, your body releases inflammatory messengers called cytokines. These same cytokines are already elevated in arthritis. Scientists at the University of Zurich tracked inflammatory markers in patients who consumed different amounts of added sugar daily. Those consuming more than 40 grams of added sugar, about what's in 1 can of soda, plus a granola bar, showed significantly higher levels of C-reactive protein, a key inflammation marker. Sugar also triggers something called advanced glycation end products, or AGEs. These compounds form when sugar molecules bind to proteins in your bloodstream, and they directly promote inflammation in joint tissue. The concerning part isn't an occasional dessert. The problem is that processed sugar hides in unexpected places. Your morning flavored yogurt might contain 20 grams. Healthy smoothie from the shop could pack 50 grams. Salad dressings, pasta sauces, and bread all add up throughout the day. Food number 2, refined carbohydrates. White bread, regular pasta, white rice, and most baked goods fall into this category. Your body processes these foods similarly to sugar because they break down rapidly into glucose. Here's what happens physically. Refined carbohydrates spike your blood sugar quickly. Your pancreas releases insulin to manage this spike. Frequent insulin surges promote inflammation throughout your body, including your joints. Scientists at Harvard Medical School compared inflammatory markers in participants eating refined grains versus whole grains over 12 weeks. The refined grain group showed elevated inflammatory markers and reported increased joint discomfort, while the whole grain group maintained stable inflammatory levels. If this information is making sense and you want more evidence-based health content like this, hit that subscribe button. I share new research-backed approaches to managing chronic conditions every week. Think about your typical breakfast. 2 slices of white toast with jam delivers a refined carbohydrate load that triggers inflammatory pathways before your day even begins. Switching to steel-cut oats or whole grain bread with natural nut butter provides sustained energy without the inflammatory spike. Food number 3, vegetable oils high in omega-6 fatty acids. This surprises many people because we're told vegetable oils are healthier than saturated fats. The reality is more nuanced. Corn oil, soybean oil, sunflower oil, and safflower oil contain high amounts of omega-6 fatty acids. These aren't inherently bad. You need some omega-6 south for normal immune function. The problem is balance. The ideal omega-6 to omega-3 ratio is around 4:1 or lower. The typical Western diet delivers a ratio closer to 16:1, sometimes even 20:1. This imbalance shifts your immune system toward inflammation. A study in the Journal of Nutrition followed arthritis patients who modified their fat intake. Those who reduced omega-6 oils and increased omega-3 sources experienced improvements in morning stiffness and joint tenderness over 6 months. Results varied among individuals, but the pattern was consistent. These oils are everywhere in processed foods. Check your crackers, chips, prepared meals, and restaurant food. Most use soybean or corn oil because they're inexpensive. Food number 4, alcohol, especially in excess. Moderate alcohol consumption affects people differently, but excessive intake clearly promotes inflammation. When your liver processes alcohol, it produces inflammatory compounds. These compounds circulate through your bloodstream and can aggravate joint inflammation. Data from the Nurses' Health Study, which tracked over 100,000 women for decades, found a connection between regular alcohol consumption and increased rheumatoid arthritis severity. The relationship was dose-dependent, meaning more alcohol correlated with worse symptoms. Alcohol also disrupts gut health. Your gut microbiome plays a significant role in regulating inflammation throughout your body. When alcohol damages your intestinal lining, it can trigger systemic inflammation that reaches your joints. You're halfway through, and if you're finding this helpful, let me know with a quick comment. Now here's where most people make the biggest mistake that cancels out all their dietary improvements. Food number 5. Red meat and processed meats. This might be the most controversial on the list, because red meat provides important nutrients like iron and protein. The inflammatory issue comes from specific compounds. Red meat contains high levels of arachidonic acid, another omega-6 fatty acid that your body converts directly into inflammatory chemicals. When researchers at Mount Sinai Hospital measured inflammatory markers in participants consuming different amounts of red meat, those eating red meat daily showed higher baseline inflammation than those limiting it to once or twice weekly. Processed meats, bacon, sausage, deli meats, hot dogs present additional concerns. These products contain advanced glycation end products from high heat processing, plus additives like nitrates that may promote inflammation. A European study examining over 25,000 participants found that regular processed meat consumption correlated with increased inflammatory marker levels. This doesn't mean you must become vegetarian. The evidence suggests moderation matters more than elimination. Choosing grass-fed beef when you do eat red meat may help, as it contains more omega-3 fatty acids than conventional beef. So what should you eat instead? I'll give you a quick overview though, this deserves its own detailed video. Focus on foods that naturally reduce inflammation. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines provide omega-3s that actively counter inflammatory pathways. Leafy greens, berries, and other colorful vegetables contain antioxidants that protect joint tissue. Nuts, especially walnuts and almonds, offer healthy fats and minerals that support joint health. The Mediterranean diet pattern consistently shows up in research as beneficial for arthritis. It emphasizes fish, olive oil, vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and legumes, while limiting red meat and processed foods. Let's talk about practical implementation, because knowing what to avoid doesn't help if you can't actually change your eating patterns. Start with one food at a time. Pick the one from this list that you consume most frequently and find a substitute for 2 weeks. Track your symptoms in a simple journal. Pain levels, stiffness, swelling. Many people notice changes within 10 to 14 days, though individual responses vary. For processed sugar, this might mean switching from flavored yogurt to plain yogurt with fresh berries. For refined carbohydrates, try replacing white rice with quinoa or cauliflower rice at dinner. For omega-6 oils, cook with olive oil or avocado oil instead of vegetable oil. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is reducing your overall inflammatory load over time while maintaining food you actually enjoy. Arthritis management requires patience and consistency, with multiple strategies working together. Remember, dietary changes support your medical treatment. They don't replace it. Some people experience noticeable improvements in their symptoms through diet modification, while others see more modest changes. Arthritis type, severity, and individual biology all influence how your body responds. Comment ready if you're going to try removing one of these foods this week and tracking how you feel. And in my next video, I'll reveal specific anti-inflammatory foods that research suggests may help reduce arthritis symptoms, the foods you should be eating more of to support your joint health. Work with your healthcare team, stay consistent with prescribed treatments, and view dietary changes as one tool in your comprehensive arthritis management strategy.